Hello, I'm Dr. Julie Burke. Did you know that a dysfunctional movement in one part of your body could create a problem in another part of the body? We are going to go over the mechanics of the spine and consider the kinetic chain, or how the body moves as a whole, in this video. You have an intricate system of movement in your body called the kinetic chain. The kinetic chain makes the joints and segments have an effect on one another during movement. When one is in motion, it creates a chain of events that affects the movement of neighboring joints and segments. Because of this chain reaction, it will also affect parts at a distance in the body. Good mechanics are essential so the joints and bones don't break down. It's important to have awareness and clarity in the nervous system to coordinate the intricate chain of movement so that the joints and bones are not stressed and don't break down. This is especially important when we consider the structure of the spine and skull. These bones act as the protective housing to our central nervous system, our vital operating system. It becomes the chicken and the egg. If there's interference in the neurological system, it will likely affect the movement patterns, and therefore the structure of the bones. If the structure of the bones break down, it will affect the house of the neurological system and interfere with how the body receives, operates, and functions. Let's take a quick look at some of the basics of body mechanics. One of the most important mechanical gifts you have is this crucial S-shaped spinal curve from the side. Think of this spinal curve as the main spring in your suspension system. You may have noticed in your postural pictures that your head was slightly off to one side, or one hip was higher than the other, and that's important. When you're running and jumping and absorbing the shock of movement, your feet are going to take some of the brunt, and that shock wave is going to travel up through your ankles, your knees, and your hips. The shock wave continues and it dissipates along the S-shaped curve. Looking at the spine from the side, you can see how it would be the major part of your suspension system. If we had a spring, it wouldn't be effective if it was in a straight line. We want to have some bends in it to absorb the shock. The spine has great shock absorbers called discs. The discs are found between the spinal bones. We can think of them as being kind of like a jelly donut. The outside is made of cartilage. Inside of this cartilage is a gel-like substance which helps to absorb shock. If this gel gets forced out, we call it a herniated disc. It may cause even more problems if the herniated material puts pressure on the delicate nerves. Having this curve is very important for the health of your spine, including the discs. One of the primary things that we want to see as an outcome is the improvement of this curve. We learned in the posture video that when the head is forward, it will start increasing the load on the spine. This increased pressure may cause structural breakdown, also known as degeneration or arthritis. Let's take a quick look at some of the consequences from forward head tilt. With the head 16 to 20 degrees in front of the optimal alignment, we will typically find that this increased stress and tension will be causing symptoms such as pain and stiffness. Around 20 to 30 degrees of forward head posture, the poor mechanics are likely creating structural damage. What does that mean? It's kind of like the car tire. If your car is a little bit out of alignment, the tires are going to wear out. If the car is way out of alignment, the tires will wear out faster. If you just went over a big bump and your car went out of alignment, but you only drove about 5 miles, you probably wouldn't have that much structural damage to the tires. But if you drove 500 miles, you would begin to really see where the tires were breaking down. The good news is, unlike a tire which does not regenerate, the joints can. If you catch this problem and create a change in your posture, you may be able to minimize, reverse, or prevent structural damage. Try holding a 10-pound weight right up against your chest. Now, experiment by holding it farther and farther away from your chest. You will notice that it gets heavier pretty quickly. This illustrates the principle of leverage and why we lift things close to the body for safety. The average head weighs between 12 to 14 pounds. When the head has defaulted to this common forward head posture, leverage is definitely working against us, making your body work much harder. It means you will have to use much more energy just to stand upright. Some of the muscles will be overworked and underpaid. They may start to rebel and hurt. Often people want to get their back muscles massaged to help with this discomfort. This is a great idea, but keep in mind that the muscles that hurt are often the ones being overstretched. In this case, we may be handling the symptoms, but not the overall structural problem. Chiropractic helps rebalance the system. This reorganizes the structure and mechanics, enabling the body to operate in a more efficient way. Coordinating care with your massage practitioner helps us to address not only the overworked muscles, but also the muscles that are pulling and are likely creating the problem. We are committed to providing you with a comprehensive analysis of your body's function and mechanics. We will work with you to create a program designed to best help you meet your goals.